Foldit is a free online computer game that anyone can play. We challenge Foldit players to design new proteins from scratch using state-of-the-art software that we use here at the Institute. Proteins are extraordinary molecules. They fold into very precise shapes and carry out complicated functions. Natural proteins have evolved to do this over billions and billions of years. But now we face new problems that we'd like to be able to solve, a universal flu vaccine or treatments for cancer, and we don't want to wait billions of years for nature to evolve proteins. We've shown that Foldit players, these non-experts, can design proteins successfully and just as well as anyone in the Institute would here. We have Foldit players from around the world with all kinds of backgrounds, young and old. Very few of them seem to be practicing biochemists. For the most part, they tend to be just people who like puzzles. So now that Foldit players can design proteins that fold up on their own, we'd really like to have them try to tackle some really applied problems. So right now, Foldit players are working on proteins that could be used to treat cancer or infectious disease or a whole host of other medical and materials applications. Protein design is a very expansive challenge. There are innumerable possibilities for designed proteins, and our algorithms can only explore a very, very small part of that space. Foldit players are great at discovering the limits of our software and exploring new ideas that people at the Institute would never dream of. So really anything that Foldit players produce has some value or could have some value in the future. We just don't know.
You know, I had been playing some other games and wasn't finding them very satisfying, and my husband heard about Foldit, I think on NPR. This was right after the monkey virus protein was solved by Foldit players. And he said, this is a game that does real science, and that added interest really hooked me. It feels like play to me, yeah. I'm not as concerned with getting the top score as some people are. I mean, I watch, and I love it when I am in the top 10. That makes me happy, but that's not like my primary goal. My primary goal is to design something that really will fold up in the lab. I keep a list of all the proteins that I design because I like to try and do different ones each time and not do the same ones over and over. But yeah, every time news would come out about a Foldit protein that passed some test, I would immediately go look up, is that one mine? Is it mine? Is that one mine? I mean, my favorite part is hearing the scientists when they have scientist chats, hearing the science of Foldit and what players have been able to accomplish. That I've been able to make a real contribution to something. That, as a stay-at-home mom, I have a little lack of feeling of accomplishment some days, and so doing something real, in the world of science feels novel and cool.